New climate change agreement. For a moment, let's pretend that today's climate change crisis is real and it's totally caused by bad greenhouse gas emissions being emitted solely as a result of human activities, one way or another, directly or indirectly. Forget the sun, forget the magnetic field, forget Earth's inner core, forget Milankovitch cycles, you name it, forget it. Humans are the problem. Let's just blame human beings for the whole climate crisis problem, and all of the developing poorer nations, all 152 of them, are indeed suffering as a result of the richer nations. That is exactly what the UN and the WEF and the COP would have you believe. So they established the Paris Agreement and NDCs to solve this wealth imbalance by transferring wealth from richer developed countries to poorer developing nations. In reality, it's just another silly, unworkable socialist ideology disguised as a climate change crisis, but in essence it's nothing more than a wealth transfer scheme. That's the Paris Agreement for you. However, you can deduce that the UN, WEF and COP don't really believe or even care about the climate change crisis, because they would do the opposite if they genuinely cared.
Really? How so?
Because when the Paris Agreement NDC funds are transferred to the so-called developing poorer nations, countries like China, India, Russia, and roughly another 150 other countries, what on earth do you think those countries will do with the money, apart from filtering some of the funds away for military use and government rulers' back pockets? These poorer developing nations will buy cars, tractors, boats, planes, trains, and a whole pile of agricultural and industrial machinery. Farms and livestock animals will freely abound, and cultivated food will be plentiful. And so will pollution. Greenhouse gases will flourish, the dirty clouds will soar into the atmosphere, and the poorer people will be happier. Fossil fuels will be guzzled by the billions and billions of barrels, and the so-called climate change crisis will get worse and worse and worse, but the people will be happier. Let's stop this fake happiness right now and genuinely save planet Earth and the people.
But how on earth can you possibly do this?
Well, do exactly the opposite. The richer, right-bent, clever nations should get together and develop a Paris disagreement to make the world a cleaner, greener, healthier world to live in. The rules of this new PD Accord would stipulate that all of the poorer developing nations should pay an annual pro rata fee to the richer developed nations.
You're kidding? This won't make the Greens happy at all.
Yes, they will be. They will be happy, a lot happier. Because the richer developed countries are in a much more stable and financially secure state, and so are therefore much more suited and qualified to develop new energy technologies like Dyson spheres, which will benefit all human beings, animals and plants for millennia. This would obviously also benefit the poorer developing nations immensely, and so everyone will be much happier at the end of the day. Even the Mad Hatter crazy green parties scattered around the world should be happier, but don't hold your breath. Thank you for listening. WhangareiTim.